Hello, Algebra 2 students for Miss Bell. Today is the 8th, and I believe this isn't due until, let me see here, Monday, so it's going to be due on the 11th, and let me go through the odd ones with you. I'm not going to go through all the directions and all that. I just want to get into the problems and show you how to solve these problems. And I'm not going to get into Maya Angelou and her, biography, but you could read that and figure out and learn some very interesting historical facts. Okay, so just the math part of it. Number one, what we're going to look at here is this is telling me y equals x. So if y equals x, I could put in a y here for this x. So I'll have y equals 5y plus 4, okay? So y equals 5y plus 4, because y equals x, I just substituted in y for x. So now I'm dealing with one variable, and I can only deal with one variable at a time anyway. So here we go. I ended up subtracting. What did I do? Yeah, I think I made a mistake. I got to subtract 5y from both sides. And when I subtract 5y, I should get negative 4y. And so negative 4 divided by negative 4, divided by negative 4, I should have a negative 1. So this should be a negative 1 here. So when I plug in negative, well, they both should be negative 1, because when I plug in my negative 1 for y, x equals it, so they both should be negative 1. So you should have St. Louis as your answer for where she was born. Number 3, taking a look at number 3, this whole thing right here, what my y equals, x plus 2, I could plug in for this y right here. And so you'll have 3x plus 6 times x plus 2 equals 12. So let's see how that looks. I do the distributive property, and you can pause this as needed. And then I combine my like terms. I isolate the variable, and I get x equals 0. That all looks good. I go back and I plug in this 0 for, I use the easier problem. I could put it into either problem, but I tend to choose the easier problem. Why make it more difficult than it has to be? So I put the 0 in for x. 0 plus 2 is 2. So my x value is 0, my y value is 2. Remember, you always list them as coordinates, and x comes first, just like in the alphabet, x, y, z. But x, y, you have 0 and 2. Okay? And that answers right there. Number 5, for your x value, this whole thing, y minus 1, could go in for x here. So you should have y equals negative 4 times y minus 1, in parentheses, plus the 21. So what does that look like? It looks like this. I use the distributive property. I multiplied my 4y times my negative 4 times y, and I got negative 4y. And then I took negative 4 times negative 1. Negative 4 times negative 1 is a positive 4. I bring down my plus and my 21 and my y, all that good stuff. I combine like terms, and I did a double step here. I combined the like terms. 21 plus 4 is 25. And I added 4y to both sides. I added 4y to both sides. So I got rid of it over on this side. So now I have 5y equals 25. I divide both sides by 5. Canceled out. I got y equals 5. Okay. When I plug this into the easier problem, that would be the first problem. I just put my 5 in for that y. And I have 5 minus 1. So my x value, x is going to equal 5 minus 1, which is 4. So I have 4, 5. And then the last one I'm going to show you, I want you to try 2 through 8 on your own. Go ahead and make mistakes. If you make mistakes, learn from them. You're making progress. This one right here, y. Okay, my y value is all of this. Okay, I'm going to plug that in for that y right there. So I'm going to have 3x equals negative 3 plus 6 times the quantity of negative 1/3 x plus 8. And that's going to be in parentheses. So it looks like this. And then I use the distributive property. 6 times a 1/3 x is negative 2x. 6 times a positive 8 is 48. I combine my like terms, I get 45. I get the x on one side. I added 2x to both sides. I divide both sides by 5, and I get x equals 9. Okay, I plug that 9 in right into that other equation, that easier equation up at the top. And I plug that 9 in there, and I get 27. I combine my like terms, isolate the variable, and I get 5. So your answer should be 9, 5. Okay, hopefully this helps, and hope to see you soon.